Let's play High Frontier 4 all in Tabletop Simulator. I will be playing solo using the Altruism variant found in the appendix, and will incorporate politics from Module 0, as described in the Exodus module rulebook. This is the 5th and final episode of this playthrough covering the last solar sunspot cycle. If you haven't seen the rest of the series, you can find a playlist with the 5 episodes in my channel. Don't forget to comment if you would like to share your thoughts on this playthrough. On the last episode, my space program continued industrializing sites previously claimed. I managed to build factories in 4 of the 6 type of sites. This gave me enough points to meet the scenario's victory requirements. This episode, I will try to increase my score a bit further. I will hopefully accomplish this by building a factory in the C-type site I claimed a while back. And then, if I have enough time, claim and industrialize an H-type site. My rocket sits in the Ceres region, having placed 2 more claims last turn. I have 2 options to do first. I can build a factory on one of my C-site claims, or look for an H-site to prospect. Either way, I need to return to Flora and pick up a new refinery and robonaut. From there, the easiest C-site claim to reach is in the Nisa family. As for an H site, I can explore the moon. I would need at least 10 thrusts to be able to land on it. My rocket has the capacity to do this if I keep it light and use its afterburner. Another option would be the BZ asteroid, but the odds of finding something there are low. A far more interesting idea would be to establish a floating factory in Saturn. The gravity is very high, but thanks to its atmosphere, my rocket can make use of an aerobrake entry. Saturn is very far away, and my rockets will need to make many burns to get there. It might not have enough fuel to reach Saturn in one go, and will probably need to make a pit stop in one of the planet's moons to refuel. It will be a quick stop, thanks to its dirt thruster. Now, I will start my first turn by taking my rocket back to Flora. To do this, I will first refuel enough as a free action to keep the rocket in the Scout class. The rocket has a total thrust of 8. The rocket lifts off and burns to exit the Ceres family. Then, it burns twice to change direction and reach the Leo-Callisto line crossing. It burns twice again to enter this orbit. After passing through the last burn spot, it reaches the Flora crossing. The rocket has used a total of 7 burns. It will have to wait until next turn to change direction. The rocket is lighter now, which gives it 1 more thrust. For my operation, I will start ET producing the components I will need in the next few turns to industrialize. The event is Inspiration, and the decks are cycled. This turn, the rocket changes direction to enter Flora's orbit and then lands on it. Now I will produce the refinery on Flora and load it onto the rocket along with the robonaut produced on the previous turn. This increases my rocket's mass by 2. I adjust the dry and wet mass chits to account for this. I move to the next turn. To start, I will refuel the rocket to its maximum level. The rocket has enough fuel for 16 burns. Now my rocket is ready to embark on its most ambitious voyage yet. It will follow the LEO Callisto orbit and then make detour towards Saturn. The rocket lifts off and reaches the crossing just outside the Flora family. Then it burns 2 times to enter the LEO Callisto orbit. It coasts along the orbit, passing through a burn spot and reaching the detour crossing. Here, it burns twice to change direction and moves straight to the next crossing. The rocket has made a total of 5 burns. Its weight places it in the tug class. This modifies its total thrust down to 6. This means it will have to wait here to change direction on the next turn. For my operation, I will sell 2 patents from my hand to raise 6 aqua. The rocket will be encountering a couple of hazards in its venture to Saturn. I will try to mitigate the risks with extra engineering teams using Finao programs. I get a budget cut event, forcing me to discard another patent. My rocket changes direction and passes through a burn spot to reach a crossing. Here it burns twice to change direction and immediately enter another crossing. It again burns twice to pass through a burn spot and stop at a Lagrange point. The rocket used all of its 6 allowed burns for the turn. After consuming the fuel, it has enough for a total of 5 more burns. It is now in the transport class and has a thrust of 7. For the operation, I will purchase 2 more patents to hopefully sell next turn. Now, the rocket starts spiraling into Saturn. It will pass through 5 burn spots, consuming all of its fuel. In order to refuel its dirt thruster, the rocket will coast and land on the small 1S satellite. Here I make the mistake of only consuming 4 burns. This turn, I sell the 2 patents I previously bought to finish with 13 aqua. I get yet another inspiration event. As a free action, I refuel the rocket to its maximum capacity. Then it takes off and continues its route into Saturn's atmosphere. It burns to enter the radiation spot. The roll is a 4, but its thrust of 6 negates any exposure. The rocket keeps burning 3 more times as it spirals closer to Saturn. As Saturn's gravity swells, the rocket fires its rockets 2 times to counteract the force and control its landing. The second lander burn moves it past Saturn's rings, but I spend 4 aqua to negate a hazard roll and make sure it passes safely. It consumed a total of 6 burns. Then the rocket deploys its parachute to air brake. Again, my well-financed engineering teams make sure I don't need to roll for this hazard. As it drops deeper, it passes through a radiation belt, but exposure is negligible due to its speed. Once the rocket reaches deep enough, the high density of the gases allows it to unfold its aerostat to stop its descent and perpetually float in its atmosphere. The rocket has successfully landed on Saturn, and now I will place a claim on the site using my operation. The site has 0 hydration, but the von Neumann machine allows my robonaut to prospect the site. I will have to take a claim disk from a site on the board since I don't have any more disks left. Now I build a factory on the site by returning a robonaut and refinery to my hand. I would like to build a factory on a sea site. I will do this on my claim in the Nysa region. The rocket is too far away, so I will decommission it. I will rebuild it in Flora later. I will ET produce in Flora the robonaut first. Then I produce the generator. I get a solar flare event, but have no stacks in space. Then I produce the radiator. I only have 2 turns left, but it will be enough. Finally, I produce the refinery. I build my rocket with all the components and move it to the C site in the Nysa family with 2 burns. With my last turn of the game, I build my factory on the C site. I remove my rocket from the board since I used its components to build the factory. I have finished the last cycle of the game. I move the last seniority disc to the authority law. I adjust the exploitation track to show that I now have a factory in an C and H site. I get 15 points for my factories and claims. I get 9 additional points for my claims due to the final law. I get 48 points from the exploitation track. I get 5 points from my glory chits. This gives me a total of 77 points, a little more than the 60 required by the scenario. This concludes this playthrough. If you made it this far, I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this series. Leave a comment if you would like to share your thoughts about High Frontier, or let me know if you would like to see more playthroughs of this game. Special thanks to 11 Labs for providing this wonderful AI-generated narration voice. Check the link in the description for more information on their helpful tools.